Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hello, 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 everyone, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back to Divine iRacing Round 16. We are here for the season finale here in Divine iRacing. We are at Abu Dhabi in in Division 1. Do I want to say Divine iRacing any more times? We are here at Abu Dhabi for a sprint race weekend or evening. Yeah, evening's probably best to say it. But welcome everyone to the Yas Marina circuit for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, the grand finale, as I've mentioned previous other times, many other times before. But under the dazzling floodlights of the UAE's capital, this is a 5.281 kilometer track that provides the perfect stage for a dramatic conclusion to the 16 race calendar that we've had this season, whether it is a title decider, which it possibly is tonight, or um, or the last chance for glory, really. And Abu Dhabi never fails to deliver some high stakes action. In terms of the championship, we are seeing the possibility for. I mean, it's very highly unlikely, but I have to say, but Yuri is in P1 in the Drivers' Championship with 354 points. Kaka is in second with 316, and the Steps is also closely following behind Kaka with 311 points. Now, I believe if Yuri secures himself 7 points in the sprint race tonight, that means that he has secured himself the Drivers' Championship once again after 16 races of having to be second best to me, um, which I'm sure he'll be more than happy to reclaim his Drivers' Championship back once again. But as we are getting ready to go um, for the sprint race, this is the one-shot qualifying for the sprint race. Going to be exciting to see which driver is able to, you know, get their one lap pace sorted. It's a little bit different than a qualifying session, of course, where you have to have multiple sessions, multiple laps to try and get faster and faster. Anything can happen. You can't invalidate, and especially for someone such as Yuri, who's at the top of the timesheets at the moment. Seems to be purple sector 1 so far. The Steps and Kaka in P3, P4 it seemed like for a moment there. Yuri on his way down into the tight chicane. Seems to be pretty locked in so far. Oluwarichi at the moment provisionally P2, nope, down to P3 once again. Very tight times at the moment between these two drivers. Jenga Boy, Oluwarichi, Kaka the Steps, Paddy. So a few drivers, the grid seems to be pretty mixed up at the moment. But Yuri looks to be running pretty comfortably. To a provisional pole position, and Jazz Press unfortunately left the session, and that is secured pole position for Yuri by about 5/10 of a second, half a second there. Fantastic lap from Yuri, and he knows what he needs to do in this sprint race in order to secure himself a second Drivers' Championship here in Divine iRacing in Division 1. Kaka is in P2 at the moment, so anything can happen. Anything can happen off the line. Is Kaka going to go brave? Is he going to go for the soft tires perhaps? The medium tire is most likely the smartest choice around here. But games could be played here. Games could be played. That is what I'll have to say. Ulrich in P3. Jan also P4. I think, I'm pretty sure. Where's the Steps? Steps was in P7. So still plenty to fight for as well. With Kaka, of course. Bear with me while I'm just going to grab a drink. And here we go. We are getting ready to get ready for the sprint race. I'm not sure how many laps the sprint race is saying at the moment, but it'll be an interesting one nonetheless. I imagine everyone is going for... Oh, we got two hard runners. So that is curious indeed. I'd imagine it's going to be about 12 laps, I'm not sure. 12 there or thereabouts. As we've got people overtaking on the formation lap. There's the step. Just trying to double check and make sure everything's alright with the stream. But we do have a reserve driver by Chesney Reese. Chesney, I guess it is. Who has qualified himself in P6, which is not too bad of a start for himself for his first race in Divine Eye. Mediums all round except for Mihu and Rios, who opted to go on to the hards. And I'm trying to see if Mookie is going to be joining us. No luck so far yet, though. No luck for Mookie to join. Coming up to the back part of the grids, the back markers who are lining up now for the final sprint race of Divine Eye Racing this season. Going to be on board with Kaka, who seems to be pointing his car slightly towards Yuri. Aggressive strategy early on, and let's see what he's able to do. Got 5 red lights, and we are go, 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 go. Fantastic start from from Kaka early on. Does go into the lead. Kaka breaks extremely late and is able to go around the outside, so happy to take the risk there. See the steps moving up past Jan as well. Ola Ritchie following closely as well in P3. Tongina makes a move down the inside and is able to crash himself out. Big sent, and unfortunately did not work out for him. As we see Jazz Perez, who is still just getting past turn 1. Not sure. Yeah, disqualified from the session, going the wrong way. That is unfortunate for... That is a really unfortunate way for you to end your season, I guess you could say. Not making it past turn 1. Really unfortunate for them. Local Tikashi, welcome, welcome. How you doing, my friend? And there is already a gap between Kaka and Olorishi of about a second. Seems to be growing ever more and more. There we go. Bear with me just a second. Bear with me, bear with me. Hello, hello.
Hello, how are you?
Very well, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. So are you in the lobby?
Yeah, I'm here.
Nice, nice, nice. Alright, so I haven't done a co-commentary before, but we'll try and make it work as best as we can. At the moment, we do have a little bit of a gap in the train. So we've got Yuri and Kaka, P1 and P2 at the moment. This is not going to work for Yuri as he needs to this is not going to work for Kaka as he needs to
Side by side, right?
outscore Kaka, Yuri by quite a significant amount of points in this one. He's able to make his championship fight still work. But yeah, we've just seen an overtake from Jan on Ulrich.
Got a good battle going on for P3 here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Addy making a move past Chesney.
Reese Chesney, can he go side by side? This is his debut, I believe, and he seems to be putting up quite a solid fight with Paddy as well. A little bit of a moment there. And Jenga Boy, has to be said, Jenga Boy, who started, I think, at the back of the grid in P17, has already made his way up to P8 at the end of lap 3. So
He had his first race in DER last week, I'm pretty sure, and right off the bat, he's been very, very strong.
Up 10 positions, has to be said, that is very impressive indeed. But we just got to see Kaka and Yuri definitely getting away from the pack at the moment. The gap's up to about 3.4 seconds. And we see the steps and Olar Ritchie side by side. They have a little bit of contact.
Oh!
That was nearly very bad. And I can see Olar Ritchie's going to be lining up his send down the inside of the steps right here. It could be ending badly. Nearly. Squeeze.
More contacts, the all Richie. Oh! He almost ends up sideways. The steps has to go off the track. He loses a few places.
Oh my goodness, what am I seeing?
4 wide.
It is absolute carnage.
Side by side, the kick sabbers.
Oh my goodness, it's all over the place. I think Ulrich lost about 7 positions just then.
Yeah, he's down in P11, 12 now.
He was not happy
with
that.
More contact! And Sparrow's gone. Or Tonga, sorry.
Oh dear, what is going on? I think Ulrich must be driving with a head full of steam at the moment. He's got the steps behind him at the moment who he wasn't happy with for that one particular move. And now the 2 Red Bulls closely following behind as well. Oh dear.
At least the racing is close so far. No lack of entertainment here on lap 4.
Absolutely. Well, Yuri's already made a 3.6, 3.8 second gap now to Kaka. So I guess you can say, unless anything seriously goes wrong, that championship wrapped up for Yuri.
Yeah, Yan is actually gaining on Kaka as well, so he might have DRS down this upcoming straight.
It seems like
gap is just under a second. And he's just going to miss out. Oh, no, he will get it.
He has got
Yan is now in DRS of Kaka.
So that big pack behind is now reconnected from Kaka all the way down to pretty much down to Paddy at the moment. Yeah, so still plenty of positions left to be fought for in this last sprint race of the season here.
Even from Cutthroat all the way down to Mihu, we've got another train forming up. So, yeah, no shortage of action indeed.
Absolutely. Yuri, make it entertaining, my friend. If I'm gonna text him right now, and it'll pop up on his screen. Hopefully, he can maybe perhaps DNF in this one to make it a little bit more interesting for the next race.
Yeah, give us something to scream about.
Oh, as we've got our
Steps,
first time penalty of the race so far. Steps, I believe, is driving with a stock setup, or he wasn't able to configure a setup for himself.
Oh, we've got contact, and that's Paddy hitting the back of Yarno Beast, and he's going to lose a few positions as a result.
Oh no, is he missing his front wing as well, or was it not the contact not that significant? No,
It looks
his
like front wing is all good.
front wing seems to be absolutely intact. But in terms of biggest gainers and losers so far, obviously we've seen Jenga Boy, who's had a very impressive start to this race. I mean, I wouldn't say start, it's been halfway through already, but up 13
Made it up into the
positions.
top 5.
Yeah, up 13 positions. Up into 5th place at the moment and 1.2 seconds behind Mr. Chesney Reese, or Reese Chesney. Yeah, Chesney as well, or Reese is having a solid race as well, up a couple positions. Kaka, I'm not sure where the pace has been. Maybe it's perhaps not a track that he is a big fan of. But
He's actually been overtaken by Yan now. He's down P3.
Absolutely. But Yuri, of course, there's not enough adjectives to describe his pace, how it's been this season. We know that he's been absolutely pretty much unstoppable for most of the races when he wants to be. Seen a couple of times where he's had a few moments, he's had a few incidents, but there's no doubt that, you know, on his day, Yuri is the quickest driver in this league.
100%. Kaka getting overtaken once again, this time by Chesney, making his way up into the podium, the RB is.
Really well done from him, and we see Jenga Boy perhaps sizing up a move. No, he's pretty low on the battery, so needs to go through a couple of laps of recharging. Shermanator has to be said as well, up in P6 at the moment, so
he is having a good race, Shermanator.
Yeah, absolutely, pretty solid race from him. The steps.
So Chesney makes yet another overtake, and he's now up into 2nd place.
Oh wow. Curious to see if he's able to break the DRS of the cars behind. You know, Jan is pretty quick and he's on the battery at the moment just to make sure that he's not going to be dropping out of that 1 second window of Reese in front of him. It is about 9/10 of a second at the moment. And Jan does secure the DRS for the moment.
Must be said though, Chesney has pulled away quite a bit.
Absolutely.
And the gap was just a tad over 1 second there at the DRS line, so he can have another lap like that, then surely he'll be pulling away from the DRS range from Jan behind.
As we see both Haas actually going side by side and a bit of contact as well through the chicane. Oh, they had a bit of a lag there, but there was definitely a bit of contact between the teammates there. I guess it is the last race
coming
of the
back
season.
at him. Down the inside goes Cutthroat, and he gets the move done. Oliver Ritchie recovering quite well after being down top 10. He's now working his way back up the order. Still got a bit of a train here in the midfield. Thankfully, no more incidents though.
Paddy must have some damage because either that or it's not a track that he enjoys, because Paddy has shown some pretty good pace in the latter part of the season. But at the moment, down in P11, down 3 positions from his starting spot, it's not somewhere that we're used to seeing him be.
Doesn't appear to be any damage on his car, but he was caught up in a few incidents earlier in this race, which definitely would have impacted his progress. Oliver Ritchie in the DRS of Cutthroat, looking to gain that position down the inside into the hairpin, and it looks like he's going to get it done, but he needs to make sure he's got enough battery in the tank to defend from Cutthroat and the next straight.
Cutthroat going to be, they're swapping once again, so perhaps they're working together quite nicely, or realizing that they have to work together quite nicely as teammates really, in order to try and maximize the time and maybe even get onto the back of the train of Shermanator, Kaka, and the guys in front.
By gaining on each other in the DRS and making the overtakes down the straight rather than in the corners, they are helping each other by giving each other that extra bit of speed down each straight, helping them defend from the drivers behind, and as Servilier said, potentially getting up into that lead DRS train by Chesney, Yan, Jenga Boy, and Kaka.
Now we're on to the penultimate lap, lap 9 of 10 here, and we have a second time penalty. First of the race for Tonga. Now that's 3 seconds at the moment, which for him, he's down in P12. He's going to be getting down to about P15,
as well
15,
now.
16, and Nihu as well picking up a time penalty. That's race over pretty much for Tonga, as we saw him having a big send on, I think it was lap 1 of the race, and that's pretty much ruined his race from there on out.
Jenga Boy with a bit of a bad exit there, and Kaka is looking to make the move, but I don't think he has a straight line speed. He's not using any battery. He's got loads than Jenga Boy has, but interesting decision there from the Williams driver to not make the move.
That is very much an interesting situation, an interesting decision to not make that move there. I mean, he's got a full battery. He's got plenty of work to do in order to try and get back up to P2. But at the moment, seems content to stay in P5. Curious one. Oh, Lopetikichi in the chat says, how many seconds of penalties are we going to predict for the main race? I mean, so far we've had 9 seconds of penalties in 10 laps.
I think about half the drivers is a fair estimate. So
yeah.
let's say 8 or 9 drivers will have penalties.
Yeah. So that's about 27. I'm not sure the reason why. I mean, it was 1 lap left of the race, but hey, each to their own. I guess he's had enough of this particular race tonight. As we're going on board with Jan now, who has the DRS enabled on Reese ahead of him, who seems to be able to keep a pretty good pace from the cars that behind. However, Jenga Boy is coming back and trying to have a fight with Jan now. Is he going to send it
very,
down
very
the
close.
inside? No. Jan positioning his car.
Fuel indicators are flashing, so I wonder maybe they run out of fuel right at the end here. We only got a couple corners to go. Yuri takes the win for the sprint race. Let's see if Jenga Boy can take the final podium place here on Yan. And I think Yan got the better exit of the two, so he will keep that P3.
Kaka finishing P5 with a full battery. I'm not too sure what his thoughts are over there, but he had plenty of battery to fight, and I mean, I guess he knew the championship was done for, but regardless, he should still be wanting to go for as many positions and as many points as possible. So it's a bit of a strange one.
I think overall it was a very good race. We had battles all over the track. There wasn't many drivers who were far off the pace, and we enjoyed some great battles on track.
Absolutely. Shermanator finishing a P6 as well. Solid race for him. Driver of the day goes to Jenga Boy. With a big recovery for him.
I think he gained 14 positions by the end. Very, very strong race.
Very good job from him. And there we have it, guys. Congratulations to our, I'm not sure which season number this is, but our season 4 in Divine iRacing Division 1 champion, which is our boy Yuri. He reclaims his championship from myself after the season previously where he's able to win it. Big congratulations to him once again. So we're getting ready for our one-shot qualifying for the main race, for the final race of the season here in Division 1. Hopefully we're able to see a different driver on pole position, and Yuri has retired from the session, so he's going to be attempting a last to first. Kaka is also retired, so both going to be attempting a last to first, which is definitely very interesting indeed, and something
Ooh,
we
that
love to see.
that will be very exciting. So through the first sector, although Richie leads. Oh, and he's invalidated.
Or he's had a bit of a spin, it seems. He hasn't invalidated it, doesn't seem like.
He
Oh no,
has
he
it.
has
His
invalidated. He has,
track
yeah.
matter has gone red.
Oh,
So
okay.
Cutthroat now leads the pack. Oh, now it's Tonga.
It's always changing
Always
so
changing in
much.
OFQ. Yeah.
Yeah. So Richie, unfortunately for him, I mean, he's a driver that's been showing some very good pace in the latter half of the season as well. Can be a driver to drive on emotion, as we've seen previously. Um, but unfortunately for him, he's going to be joining Kaka and Yuri at the back of the grid for that last to first.
Jenga Boy in P1. Could he take his first pole in DER? The final sector now. He's just got one more corner to go. Let's see if he can get it done. In the Alpine, fourth gear, powering out to the line, and he does get pole by quite a healthy margin as well.
Big,
Three and a
big,
half tenths.
big lap from Jenga Boy there. 3/10 on his debut. Fantastic. Or is it on his debut? No. Apologies. I
I
believe you said
think
he raced last week. Yeah.
last week was his first race, yeah. But
There you go.
he's like we said, he's been very strong right off the bat. So well done to him.
Love to see it as well, Mr. Reese Chesney as well in P4. Tongana, I thought he, to be honest with you, invalidated his lap right towards the end. He was definitely out of track limits, but the game did not count it as an invalidation. The steps able to secure himself a P2 as well.
So
Um,
Kaka and Yuri actually moving up a few places with some other drivers invalidating.
okay, I see. Um, yeah, so definitely an interesting scenario here with some quicker drivers toward the back. The grid seems to be pretty mixed up all over the place, so should make for a really interesting final race of the season.
Fairly tight through qualifying, though. Only 8 tenths separating the top eight. So we expect to have another tight battle all the way to the end, just like the sprint race. That will be very exciting. Tire strategies should be interesting as well. I think tire wear is average around here.
Yeah, I think the best strategy is hard to medium in general, to be honest with you. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I know Mihu and Rios are two drivers who definitely like to start on the hard tires and go quite long. Um, so we'll see. I mean, you tend to want to be to pit around lap 20, I believe, onto some um, on some medium tires. Softs really don't want to be working. They don't really want to be using some soft tires around this track. But yeah,
Oh,
gonna be interesting to see what kind of strategy everyone seems to go for.
yeah. I think theoretically the hard medium is the quickest because you're on the mediums when the fuel burns off, so the car really comes alive at the end of the race. But obviously, in the event of an early safety car, you're taking a gamble. If you're caught out on the hard tires and there's a safety car in the opening stages of the race, then you're put at a disadvantage to the other drivers who started on the softer compound.
Absolutely. At the moment, it seems like the majority of the grid is opting for the medium tires. Just the 3 or 4 drivers actually at the moment who are opting for the hards, but that could change. That could be something to throw off the other competitors, make a last minute, last second switch to their preferred strategy. Um, we shall see.
I would not be surprised if someone goes for the softs the last second. Oh, and Cutthroat, as I've said that, has just switched onto the soft tires in P6. So that is interesting. Usually it's the drivers starting at the back who go for the alternate strategy. Cutthroat sending it on the soft tires at the start of this race.
Now, it's something that we've seen Cutthroat do in the last few weeks, to be honest with you. He's definitely opted to go onto the soft tires in the beginning, pit early, get a big undercut on the cars in front or and around him, and he'll come out. He'll tend to come out towards the top of the standings, and then he's going to obviously hope for a late safety car, get onto some fresh mediums or some fresh hards or whatever it may be. But I like this bold strategy from Cutthroat here. Something different.
Even in the event of an early safety car, Cutthroat is gonna have that advantage on the drivers around him, and then he's gonna use that pit stop to gain track position on the guys that he just passed.
So we've got 4 of the top 5 starting on medium tires. Tonga is going to have a tough time around him, and I'd imagine he's going to be wanting to fight. Tonga is definitely not one to be giving up track position easily, so if I was him, I would be not fighting the mediums too hard, just wanting to stay within the train, not make a break in the train. But hey, that is something that Tongan is going to have to learn with experience, with laps out on the track. Not every single lap is, the end of the race. Like the end of the race, you got to think about the bigger picture as well.
For Tonga, it's really just about damage limitation here. At the start, he wants to keep as many positions as he can, because when he switches onto the medium tires at the end, he's going to have the advantage. So as long as he can keep himself within that top 5, I would say he's looking very good in the late stages of this race.
Absolutely. I'm really surprised that Yuri hasn't gone for the hard tires actually, but hey, what do I know?
Both Yuri and Kaka on the mediums, so that should be a great battle right up until the pit window.
Alright, I'm going to go on board with Cutthroat here on this race start. On the soft tires, 5 red lights, and we are go for the final race of the season here in Divine Eye Racing.
The good start from Jenga Boy.
We got Cutthroat on the inside, having a little look. Paddy was able to
Paddy
get a
already made
fantastic
places
run.
at the start. Side by side with Chesney. Up in the P4. Well done for the Mercedes.
Oh, a little bit of a moment going side by side briefly there, but seemingly
Rios getting racy on Shermanator here. Doesn't go for the send down the inside, so Shermanator keeps that position. Trency Lowson making contact with Marios on the exit of the chicane. Sparrow side by side with them now as well. Lots of action in the midfield to start this race.
Sparrow braking extra late, but maybe perhaps a little bit too late on Tranquiloson as he's trying to fight back on the exits. Oh, what is going on?
Oh, the track goes Sparrow.
Cutthroat seemed to have a little bit of a moment. Now he's dropped down a few positions. Not quite sure what happened there, but he has picked up some front wing damage. His front wing, right front end plate is definitely come off there. So he's in the pits.
That's not the start he would have wanted. And Kaka has actually lost places on the opening lap. Starting in P14, he's dropped a place. He's now sitting in 15.
Oh dear, not the start that Kaka would have wanted to his last to first, but as Cutthroat comes into the pits, he's got his wing changed. Or has he got his wing changed? I think he might have had a little bit of a mistake. Now he's still running the same wing. So he wouldn't have toggled.
Yeah, his end plate is missing.
He would not have been. I don't think he was able to toggle the little option in time.
He definitely wouldn't have pit if it wasn't for the wing damage. So that is a devastating mistake there for Cutthroat. Hopefully he can make up some more positions by the end of this race.
He needs a safety car at some point, but as we see, the Steps was able to take the lead. We have a new race leader taking the lead past Jenga Boy, and Paddy followed very closely indeed in P3 at the moment. Tonga holding on in P4 on those hards at the moment, doing a pretty good job indeed.
Oliver Ritchie with a great start, up 6 positions. He's now in 12th, and obviously Cutthroat not the start he would have wanted, down 12 positions, but he's going to look to gain those back by the end of this race.
Now, Oliver Ritchie's got Tranquilos on in front of him on some hard tires as well. Oh, as we see Yuri and Marias going side by side here. Who's going to lift off a little bit? They're playing DRS chicken games here. Early on, I believe Yuri was able to secure the DRS.
He did not. It was Marios who got it.
Marios who got the DRS there, so that is... Oh.
Well, Yuri's in trouble here without...
It's going to be a couple positions that he's going to lose now. Oh, bit of contact.
Oh, contact. Oh, and Yuri is able to get the better exit and overtake all of them. So great stuff from the Ferrari, using head there in that situation. Going to get re-overtaken by Oliver Ritchie here, but a great job, a well thought out move from the Ferrari driver.
Oliver Ritchie was pushed off a little bit through that corner, but was able to get back on track, and unfortunately loses out the position to Yuri, who's now P9 after 3 laps, starting from the back of the grid. Terminator makes a move past the steps, who the steps actually into the
steps
pits.
Is in.
Very, very early.
Interesting. And Paddy is now the leader. This race up 4 positions.
Yep, that is front wing damage for the steps as well. He is getting the wing change though, unlike Cutthroat, who is actually pit again as well. So Cutthroat did come into the pits once again. He's stuck on a set of soft tires, got his wing changed, and he's back out. I mean, he's over a minute behind the rest of the grid, but I guess he's trying to salvage as much as possible.
When Jenga Boy gets back past Paddy here, down the straight, but I think Paddy's going to get the DRS down the following straight, and he will. So after what was a sprint race to forget for Paddy, he's making a case for the race win here on lap 4. Goes down the inside on Jenga and retakes the lead. So great stuff for the Mercedes driver, a seasoned driver here in DER.
Absolutely. We see a bit of a break in the train once again. The 2 kick Saubers, I think, not sure if they were fighting perhaps, or per se, which is the reason why there's a 2.8 second gap, but yeah, let's see what they're able to do. Oliver Ritchie and Yuri are obviously going to be pulling each other along up to the back of that pack. Those drivers in front, maybe they're able to work together in order to get back to the top group. I mean, with Yuri's pace, then everything is possible.
Seems as though Kaka has found his groove now, setting the fastest lap of this race and up into P10.
He's also on the back of Oliver Ritchie and that group there. So definitely seems to have found some pace now. Going to be willing to work together with these drivers in front. Sherman getting past his teammate there into P5. And Yarno Beast gets back past once again. So his teammates definitely seem to be working together very nicely indeed.
Paddy and Django Boy going side by side. And Paddy's a better exit. Django Boy looks down the inside, but makes a smart decision. Decides to wait for probably the DRS zone on the next lap.
A little bit of a moment there. Looks like the car seems to bottom out, but with these guys fighting, it's music to the guys behind the ears. I mean, the Yarno Beast, that gap was about 2.8 seconds on the previous lap. It's now down to 2 seconds flat. So
it's allowing them to catch up.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys need to kind of figure out what they want to be doing. Not fighting lap by lap. It's allowing the quicker drivers at the back, Yuri, Kaka, of course, to close back up, lap by lap, corner by corner, That's putting their own race win at doubt.
Tonga with a cheeky little move down the inside of Jenga Boy. He's going to get the move done before the DRS zone even starts. And it looks as if he's got the straight line speed advantage as well. So he's going to have the DRS once again on the upcoming straight. Maybe Tonga can take the lead of this race here on lap 6. Red light is flashing on the back of Paddy's Mercedes. He's got less battery than Tonga does, and Tonga is going to use that to his advantage. Tonga, your new race leader.
Oh, that is a moment.
Oh! And what's happened? Paddy
had a bit of a moment. I think Paddy was taking the right line there, but Jenga Boy, I think, was a bit all over the place. He took a very, very deep line into that corner, that bank corner, then tried to come back towards the inside, but Paddy was there, and that just caused a little bit of collision between himself and Paddy.
Unfortunate for him. At least for him, he was able to keep it within the DRS of Yan, so hopefully he can stay close to the front runners. But again, we were talking about the kick Saubers. The gap is now 1.1 between Yarno Beast and Paddy. So the teamwork between the two of them has been great so far. But Shermanator's losing some places. I'm not sure what happened there.
Yeah, he had a little bit of a moment on the exit of turn 1. A little bit of a tank slapper, and he lost a couple positions as a result of that. But it should be absolutely fine. We got Reese Chesney, and we got Yuri as well. So
some contact there between Reese Chesney and Yuri on the exit of the hairpin. Looked like there was some debris flying around. Not sure whose car it was from.
Kaka and Olorichi having a little bit of a battle as well. Seems that Olorichi's lost out on DRS in the cars in front. So
despite being on the hard tires.
Yeah, definitely is a good advantage. There seems to be a big fight of these cars up ahead. It's constant swapping at the moment. So
Tonga, despite being on the hard tires, seems to have no problems out there at all. Keeping Jenga Boy behind, there hasn't been much fighting between the two of them. Tonga took the lead of this race, and he's doing a great job out there.
Absolutely.
The Yarno Beast now in DRS of Paddy. This has been a movement that's been going on for a few laps now, and finally Yarno Beast's hard work is paying off, and he's gonna get a chance to move up some places here, currently sitting in P5.
Absolutely. As Paddy makes a move on Jan now, Paddy's really got to try and work to see if he can charge some of his battery back up again. I mean, he's down almost below 15% really at the moment, and that's not going to cut it from now on to the end of the race. You're going to have to recharge some battery through these slow sections that we're coming up to now in Sector 3.
We're starting to see the hard compound runners making up some ground, so this is probably the stage where the medium tires just become too worn out to compete really with the hards. So from this point on, the hard tire is probably going to be stronger until those medium tire runners make their pit stop.
As we're going to see, Yarno Beast faking a move down the inside of Paddy, causing Paddy to go a little bit wide, and well, you love to see a fake move cause the other driver in front a little bit of problems. Yarno Beast's car is twitching all over the place, but what he has to realize is that he's got much more battery than Paddy in front, so if he wanted to make the move up into P4, he could do it quite easily. And Yuri now coming back around the outside and makes a move on Yarno Beast. That is unfortunate for him, but is it going to be a 2-in-1 situation for Yuri?
But for sure the power is in Yarno Beast's hands as it stands. Oh, little slide from Yuri there. He's looking to make the move past Paddy, and he does that rather swiftly on the inside of the chicane.
Very nice.
Paddy is at risk of losing the position to Yarno Beast now as well.
Just having a little look. Got that inside line there. We know that Paddy is a very fierce defensive driver. He's going around the outside. definitely a little bit of space there, but unfortunately wasn't able to quite hold on to the traction there. Oh, Yarnaby's definitely
Corner
cut that
cut
corner there.
there.
Yeah.
Yuri has had a great first stint. It must be said he's gaining on the front runners now. Oh, and Jenga Boy in second place has gotten a penalty. He's also in the pit lane. But as I was saying, Yuri already up into the podium places, gained 13 positions since the start of this race. And yeah, oh, and Paddy's out. What's happened to Paddy?
He's retired in the pits. I was on his onboards. I wasn't sure why. I think he's just had enough. I'm not sure if he's just doesn't seem to
Interesting.
be.
It was looking great for him at the start of this race.
Yeah, he was in a very decent position, but I guess he's just had enough. Nothing to fight for. Um, why not take the rest of the night off? It's a bit of a shame. And what is going on in the pits here?
Yeah, despite Yuri starting closer to the back,
Already put himself up into P2.
Shermanator does not have the traction to keep up. So Shermanator down to P6 after that move from the RB.
Olorichi and Kaka just unfortunately haven't been able to make the progress that Kaka, or sorry, Olorichi and Kaka has not been able to make the progress that Yuri is able to have made, unfortunately. As we see Shermanator and Chesney into the pits now.
So this is the crossover period for the medium compound runners, it seems.
Yep.
Maybe looking to get an undercut on their rival.
I think it's a bit too early, in all honesty, to be making that
Yeah.
call. I think you want to be trying to extend to about lap 14, if possible.
Yeah, this is a long way to go for them on hard tires. It's approximately 20 laps, and without safety cars, of course. So if that is the case, they're going to be struggling by the end of this race.
Absolutely.
With some tire wear and, of course, being on the hardest compound.
Now we see a 5-second gap between Olorichi and Kaka. Olorichi and Yarnobeast. That is a result of Yarnobeast's really good work, really. To be honest with you, making the right decisions at the right times. Olorichi and Kaka perhaps fighting with each other and other cars around, and not making the most of when you should be passing the cars around you. If they can work together nicely here, then hopefully they're able to close back up to Yarnobeast and the pack in front of them.
Yarnobeast has done a great job so far in this race, pumping in some good lap times. He has an advantage with the tire strategy, the way things are right now, because of course he's going to be on the softer compound to the drivers around him by the time the end of the race rolls around. And he's currently sitting in P3, so making a great case for himself here in the final race of the season.
Absolutely.
He's fairly well, I believe.
We've seen him improve race by race. I think I remember his first race in DER was at Las Vegas, I believe, if I'm right in saying, and didn't have the best time there. I think retiring quite early on from the race, but every race since then he seems to be improving quite a bit. So it's always nice to see.
So those penalties haven't been very harsh so far. Only 2 drivers with penalties, Jenga Boy and Cutthroat, 3 seconds each. And we're nearing a point in this race, so the drivers seem to be fairly disciplined so far tonight.
So far, yeah, as we're seeing, unfortunately the 2 Haas's meeting on track, but one is a full lap down on the other one. As we see Yuri now picking up a time penalty. Oh, Yarnobeast has actually spun.
Oh!
Yarnobeast had a little bit of a moment.
This is the position to Kaka.
Yeah. It's down to P6. No, he was briefly down to P6, but Yuri as well as Jan as well.
Yeah.
Oh. Someone was really off track there. I think that was perhaps Marios. Does he secure himself the DRS on the cars in front? I don't think so. No DRS for him. Now, where did Tonga start position-wise? Tonga started P3 position-wise, and Ulrich was down in P18, I think it was. Yeah, P18 it was for him. So he's got a bit of a gap to where he should be, 12.2 seconds at the moment. So once Kaka pits, he's hopefully going to have some clear air to kind of not have to worry about the car behind him and pump in some solid laps before that pit stop window comes around.
Not too much action going on track right now. Of course, it is the crossover period for those who started on the mediums. So this is where the race begins in the pits, and then by the end of this race, hopefully, we will see some more action on track. And we were just talking about penalties. Since then, 3 drivers have picked up a penalty.
Okay.
Shermanator, Yuri, and Jan picking up 3-second time penalties.
It's a classic case of the commentator's curse right there.
A commentator curse, exactly.
So we're seeing Kaka doing quite a good job at the moment on these medium tires. I assume he's going to be looking to come into the pits any moment now, whether it's this lap or the next one. Get on some hard tires. I think the drivers around him that were also on the mediums have already pit for some hard tires here. I believe that was Yuri, Chesney, Shermanator, Jan as well. Those are the drivers that were all around him on the medium tires who have already pitted. So they're getting the undercut advantage on him, and he's got to just choose the right moment to decide when he wants to pit as well.
He will have the advantage by the end, though, and a late safety car could undo all of the drivers around him hard work, such as Yuri, for example, and he is making his pit stop. So Kaka into the pits here on lap 14. He should be going for the hards. Yuri's the fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 24.8. And Kaka should come out behind the kick of Shermanator, but we will see.
Ooh, that was very dodgy from Jan there. It didn't give Chesney any room whatsoever on the exit of turn 1. And luckily he wasn't put into the wall there, but that was some aggressive driving from Jan, it has to be said.
Yuri in the DRS of Transilosa, and he's just picking off the drivers one by one as he makes his way up the field once again after his pit stop.
And that is definitely what you call efficiency in terms of picking off the drivers at the right time. We're seeing
Divine
Chesney
and Sparrow side by side here.
Divine's still yet to pit, Sparrow yet to pit as well.
Both on the hards. I believe all the medium runners have made their stops.
I believe so.
Mihu, not sure what tires Mihu started on. He has made a stop, but he's currently on 5-lap-old medium. Those definitely will not be making it to the end of this race.
Oh, it'll be tight, that is for sure. Maybe he's doing some Lewis Hamilton tire whispering at the moment.
Massive tire saving.
Yeah. I'm curious.
Shave 10 or add 10 seconds to each lap. Keep the tires in good shape.
Oh, as we see Jenga Boy now getting past Ulrich, that is purely track position right there, and Ulrich yet to pit. Of course, is going to have a lot of work to do compared to Jenga Boy, who's already made his pit stop quite early on. Big undercut, and has now regained his net track position.
Jenga Boy in a great position. He's in the net lead of this race.
I was going to say.
Yuri in a net P2. They both have penalties, but given it'll take a few more laps for Oliver Ritchie and Jarno Beast to make their stops. Yuri's going to have to clear them both, which will put some distance between himself and Jenga Boy. So I like the Alpine driver's chances here tonight. He's looking very, very strong. As we
Absolutely.
just passed the midway point of this race.
And he does have a penalty as well as Yuri, so it is, of course, they have penalties each, but it is purely a fight on track as well. I mean, Yuri does have the advantage of having 3-lap younger tires than Jenga Boy, so that could be a determining factor later on in the race as well.
For sure. Yuri now in DRS of Oliver Ritchie. It should be an easy pass for the Ferrari driver. Let's see if he gets it done early into turn 5. He's going to wait for the DRS, probably the smartest of the two choices. That is job done for now for the Ferrari driver. Now he will set his sights on Jenga Boy for the lead of this race.
Is he going to secure DRS from the ghost car of Cutthroat ahead? I think he will. Yes, he will.
So is that going to be a... Oh, wait, no. Cutthroat is still racing. He's just lapped.
Yeah, he's just lapped. He's just a lapped car, and perhaps they're working together. I mean,
maybe.
We've seen it before in the past. We have seen it before in the past. So I would not be surprised there if Yuri's just recharging his DRS while still getting the DRS in the car ahead, although should be able to get past him quite easily through this section here now.
Yeah, it's the start of this season, I believe. Either the start of this season or the start of last season. It was the first season on F1 24 anyway, where the battle between Ziad and Oliver Ritchie. I think it was last season D2, and there was some DRS with ghosted car antics going on.
Yep, we've seen that. We have seen that. As we see Tonginen out in the pits, so Tonginen is just coming out of the pits on some fresh medium tires. He's going to be coming out in P4 at the moment, so
just ahead of
a very good position for him.
So he's actually not too far off the lead, so don't count him out either. Absolutely. Of course, he's on the medium tires now, which are also fresh, so he's definitely going to have the pace advantage to those drivers in front, and he doesn't have a penalty either, so Tonga is actually in a very, very strong position as well.
He is indeed about 7 seconds behind Yuri at the moment, so he's in clean air. He's got no one around him to kind of trouble him at the moment. I imagine Jarno Beast will be pitting very, very shortly indeed.
Yeah.
So hopefully he's able to clear him without having to, overtake him on track, waste any battery and so forth. But we got to keep an eye on now. Oliver Ritchie's also pit as well, so he comes out on some fresh medium tires. Tranquiloso on as well on some fresh mediums. So plenty to come later on in this race.
Tonga already in DRS range of Jarno in front, so that just goes to show how effective the fresh tires can be, but he isn't gaining a heck of a whole lot on Yuri. In fact, he might have actually lost some time. The gap is now 8.5 between himself and the Ferrari.
Yeah, he's definitely losing quite a bit of time. On the cars in front. And as Yuri now goes into the lead of the race, Jenga Boys have to hold on. Oh, as we see yellow flags. Here.
Oh, that would be...
I believe that was...
Was it Jarno?
I believe that was Chesney. I'm not too sure. Chesney. Kaka.
Tonga now in P3. Top 3 have all sorts. Now we wait and see if Tonga can gain those 5 seconds that he needs in the clear air and take the race win here tonight. Yuri sets the fastest lap of this race yet again, so on fresh tires he is a force to be reckoned with, and he's probably the fastest driver on track right now despite being on hard tires.
Here we go. Yarno Beast into the pits now. So from P4, let's see what position he comes out in. I'd imagine he's going to be down in about P10.
Well, maybe.
Oh,
Yeah, somewhere around
oh,
there.
we have Divine Eye making a little bit of an error coming as he coming into the pits.
He is, yes. He is missing a bit of his end plate on the right-hand side, so he will come into the pits, get that replaced, and head back out onto the track.
Extremely
Yarno Beast will
unfortunate for
come
him.
out in 11th, just ahead of Transilo Sun.
So fresh mediums for him, of course, is going to be extremely, extremely quick compared to the drivers around him. And let's see where he's able to finish, because he was having a very, very good race indeed. If he can get anywhere close to being in the top 6 again, that is a job well done for him, has to be said.
Doesn't have a penalty as well, which is going to play into his favor, especially if there's a late safety car. So for sure he can gain a few positions here and make his way up into, for him, hopefully the top 5.
Tongna is slowly but surely closing in, but I think what's going to be a huge disadvantage to him is he has no car around him to work together with. Yuri and Jenga Boy are both DRS swapping most laps, and that is what's really going to keep Tongna from progressing to where he needs to be in order to grab himself a race win.
The first few laps of the stint are always a huge indicator as well, because those are usually the laps where you gain the most on your fresh tires, and for Tonga it just hasn't been enough. He's only gained about half a second since he made his pit stop, and the laps have already gone away quite quickly. He's been on these tires for about 3-4 laps now, and we've just got 8.5 until the end.
So Kaka has 4 lap fresher tires than Chesney up in front of him, who is now moving into P4 past Jan.
Simple move down the straight. Well done from the RB. Kaka's going to overtake both of them, though, after penalties.
After penalties, that is correct. I'm just trying to see if he's going to want to do it on track. I mean, Kaka we've seen be quite reserved when it comes to overtakes on track, but he's putting together a nice little third sector here. He gained quite a number of tenths, a couple of tenths, I'd say, and is now with the DRS of Jan in front of him. So let's see. I mean, it's the last race, guys. Gung ho from now to the end. You never know what can happen. Ooh, Yuri has dropped Jenga Boy now. So those 3 laps of freshness definitely come into play there, it seems. As Jenga Boy should drop off even more. And now this will allow Tongana to put in some laps and try and close up to Jenga Boy in front of him.
The big opportunity for him. Jenga Boy making some mistakes on the exit of the chicane as well, so this is Tonga's chance to gain those 2.5 seconds that he needs to get up into second place.
There you go, just 4/10 of a second he was able to gain on that exit of the chicane. And hopefully he's listening. I know Tongana does tend to listen into these streams, and hopefully that gives him some encouragement to keep going, keep pushing, and keep going until right at the very end, because there is every chance that he can secure himself a P2.
And he's gaining time left, right, and center here, already dipping under the 7-second mark. So it is very, very much on for Tonga, even though it may not have seemed so just a couple laps ago. Jenga Boy picks up another penalty.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay, so Tongan is pretty much within what he needs to be. I mean, he's 8 tenths away.
8 tenths behind.
Yeah, so just needs to keep it solid, and that is a P2 secured. I mean,
the gap is still 9 seconds between himself and Yuri, so that is most likely off the cards. But P2 is very, very attainable here. Only 7 tenths separating the two of them with 6.5 laps to go.
We see Kaka moving up into P4. Double overtake down the first DRS straight there.
well done from the Williams driver.
Goes a little bit defensive now, and it's the first time I think we've seen him really use his battery. Do you see Chesney trying to fight back? No.
Yeah, the ERS is too powerful for Kaka,
Yeah.
and he's going to be able to keep that position. So, a well thought of strategy there from Kaka.
Absolutely. He's got 4-lap old fresher tires now, so if he can kind of try and pull away, then I'll give him peace of mind. Even though these drivers, the 4 drivers behind him, have all got penalties, doesn't want to be put under any kind of pressure now towards the end of the race.
The gap still 8, 9 tenths between Tonga and Jenga Boys, so this is going to be crucial. Every single corner, every single sector, it all matters, and I think it really is just going to come down to who makes less mistakes, because mistakes are what cost you the most in the end.
What is Yuri doing, bro? Yuri's messages in the chat saying, "Sup, guys?" In the YouTube chat. Focus on your race, bro.
And still gaining time on everybody else. Incredible. Texting while driving in F1.
That is a reportable offense, in my opinion.
Minus 50 points to the championship.
Surely he has to be going AI to be doing so. So that is a reportable offense. Paddy, where's Paddy when you need him? Because we know Paddy is someone who likes to report for AI offense. Oh, I'm not sure.
Oh, Tonga dips under 6 seconds, 5.9. 6.0 now. He is right on the cusp at this stage. Don't forget, though, he is on the medium, so there's still a possibility his tires will drop off a bit by the end of this race. So even though it's not the final lap, these are still extremely important in the big picture.
As Mr. Shoot Meself in the chat says, disqualification for on the phone whilst driving. I completely agree. Wholeheartedly.
Disqualification plus 50 points being taken away from the Drivers' Championship.
He said he's kind of lonely right now. Brother, make a pit stop. How about that? Make another pit stop. Go down some soft tires.
He's already secured the Drivers' Championship, right?
Yeah, he's already secured it, so why not have a little bit more fun? Tongana is now under that 6 seconds that he needs. Now, of course, he needs to stay within that 6 seconds and also not to pick up a time penalty for himself. And that is a big ask, because this is a track where, of course, it's extremely difficult to not to pick up a time penalty.
It's a difficult situation for Tonga here, because he has the gap that he needs, but at the same time you don't want to lift off at all, because that's when you give Jenga the opportunity to regain that time, and you still have to push hard to make sure you stay within that gap. But of course this still allows for the possibility of a time penalty, which would really ruin his chances here. Doing a great job though, still within that gap that he needs. The laps starting to count down here, only 3.5 to go. It's gonna go right to the end, as we can see 5.9 on the delta between the two.
Yuri says donuts. Yeah, get a donut, bro. Just do a donut for us, live on track, even though.
Or a burnout, as the Max Verstappen on the final corner.
Exactly, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, I think he would lose. Like, he would drop to the lap if he did donuts. Or how about like a 180 at the finish line, something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Surprise us.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be on board with you, Yuri, at the end of the race. Just figure something out to show the fans, I guess.
Yeah. Many people. We've got 11 people watching the stream right now, so thank you everyone for your support.
Absolutely. There is a link, I believe, in the description, or will be at some point, to join the league if you'd like to get involved in the races. Of course, we tend to have quite a good number of drivers that show up at week in, week out in both our Division 1 and Division 2 series. And if you want to get involved in that, just click the link in the description.
The link is in the bio of the channel as well, so you can go ahead and click that right now if you're interested.
As Shermanator is going back and forth with Richie, opting not to make the move into the braking zone. Seems to be some pretty nice, respectful racing between these two, which we love to see. Where is the Steps? The Steps seems to have had a really tough time tonight. Not able to make up the progress that we know he's able to, but I guess that is down to him not really having a setup, it seems.
Yeah, it seems that the last few races he hasn't been able to get a setup. I mean, he is quite a busy man nowadays. Gran Turismo races as well, even on Mondays. So right before today's race, he would have had a Gran Turismo League race, and I'm sure that's difficult for him. Adapt to two different driving styles. Most Gran Turismo leagues primarily focus on GT style cars like GT3 or LMP1, which are different to F1 cars in the way that you drive them. So that would be a good question to ask him, actually, if he has noticed any difference in his driving on either game due to crossing over between the two so often.
Absolutely. As we're seeing him should make the move quite easily on Yarno Beast, and Yarno Beast unfortunately hasn't really made the progress that we perhaps expected of him.
Yeah.
Came out of the pits in P11 and he's only made up one position at the moment. So, I mean, he is closing up to the back of Richie and Shermanator now.
Yeah, it looks like if he can get past the steps. But he's getting challenged by Marios now, actually. But if Yarno can get past the steps, then he will overtake Shermanator as well after penalties. So maybe P8 is what Shermanator's targeting. And Yuri has started the final lap of D1 here in Season 4. The gap still 5.6, so that's going to be 3/10 by the end of this race once penalties have been factored in. So anything can happen here between Tonga and Jenga Boy on the final lap, and it is not over yet by any means.
Not at all. They both have very, very similar levels of ERS, so it is the case that who's going to have the right amount at the right time, because obviously you don't want to be going under that 14%, I think it is, this year. You don't want to be going under 14% because your car will derate down the straights. You'll lose a lot of straight line speed, so both just playing around with the right number. And we see Shermanator, I think that was, have a little bit of a moment on the exit.
Oh yeah, he's down in P11 now. Got some action in the midfield. Yan and Chesney swapping places.
Yep, this is for on track as well, as we're seeing
Yuri approaching this finish line.
The final corner of this one.
Get a penalty.
In reverse. Big congratulations to Yuri, Jenga Boy, nearly. As well, actually.
So it looks like it will be P8 here for Yarno Beast.
There we go. P8 for Yarno Beast. Not a bad
What are your
result.
predictions for driver of the day?
Driver of the day. I think it's pretty clear that it's going to be Yuri, starting from towards the back of the grid. But apart from that, if I was to pick my own driver of the day, it's going to have to be Gonna have to be. I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say Jenga Boy. After that
He had a
performance in
great
the sprint
race.
race, yeah, was able to
Yeah,
get himself a nice pole position, and unfortunately was able to convert it to a win. But P3 will be, I'm sure, he'll be happy with as well.
yeah. As we've said many times today, he's been strong right off the hop here in DER. Forward to what he can do next season.
Absolutely. Watch Cutthroat. Let's see what he says. Cutthroat is going to do some donuts for us, I believe.
Oh, yes.
It was an attempted donut, but we'll go on board
Oh, he's
for.
doing another one
So
here on the
here we
main straight.
go. Oh, don't crash into the
Oh,
wall.
nearly, nearly.
That
You
is.
got to hold the brakes a little bit.
Wait.
Oh, nice.
Some
Oh, he
decent.
hasn't crossed the line though.
Oh,
Oh,
there we
there,
go.
there we go.
Finally, he has some donuts to celebrate a fantastic season here in DER Division 1. And a big thank you to everyone for tuning in, week out. Big thank you to my co-commentator tonight, Mr. Mookie.
Thank you for having me.
It's been an absolute pleasure. We got to sort out some more of this in the future as well.
For sure. Yeah, it was a fun race to commentate on, especially the sprint race, and the more the merrier, as they say. It's always fun when you have a partner in the commentator box.
Absolutely. Thank you so much to Yuri. Appreciate you as well for tuning in, week out. Some great performances. Big congratulations on the Drivers' Championship. And I think perhaps the.
Congratulations, Yuri.
Yes, he has also secured the Constructors'
The
Championship with
constructors as well.
himself
Yeah,
and our league
and
owner.
Divine.
Yes, that is correct.
Congratulations to Ferrari.
I expect you to be donating some of that money to that your winnings to Cutthroat for that slipstream you received in Monza, Mr. Yuri. So yeah, as we discussed,
I
but
didn't know they were still doing winning, so it's still 50 euros for the drivers' championship and 50 for the
I believe so.
constructors.
I'm not sure the exact numbers, but it's 50,
Uh,
30, 20 or something like that. But nonetheless, it's a
that's
good.
great that they do that. Adds a little bit of excitement to it.
Yeah, absolutely. But there we have it. Thank you so much to everyone for tuning in. Loved commentating this season, and yeah, listen, we'll be hopefully back for next season in a few weeks' time. But
I will
nonetheless,
not be there tomorrow, so
yeah, tomorrow I'll
again,
be there for
for
the.
those of you from D2 watching, it's been a great season. Thank you for having me. I love your commentator this season, and of course, for the few D1 races that I did, thank you for having me as well. It's been a pleasure, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.
See you next time, guys. Have a good one.